Honorable participants, my dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am indeed grateful to the Muslim Hands management, Sahibzada Ziaur Sahib and Sahibzada Hasnain Sahib, and all of the colleagues for inviting me to address this important get-together here in Islamabad. It would have been much easier for me to say something if Sahibzada Ziaur Sahib had not gone into those historical details, and he has spoken so highly of me that I really feel embarrassed. But I am extremely grateful for his very kind words of appreciation for whatever the contribution my father Sardar Muhammad Abdul Qayyum Khan has made in this field, and whatever the humble services I was able to render to my people during my tenure in Azad Kashmir. One distinctive role of my father in just one line, as Raja Aslam was very precise and brief in his comment, that it would not be that easy to get into all historical details, but very simply sharing with you that at the age of 23, my father Sardar Abdul Qayyum Khan started jihad in Azad Kashmir and continued for 15 months. Since that time till today, he started at the age of 23 as the youngest age and continued for 15 months, and he was very successful in getting liberated this part of Azad Kashmir, which also included Gilgit-Baltistan, because that was also a continuation of the same movement, liberation movement and freedom movement. So since then till today, not only with the Muslim community, but he is known as a highly respectable man among all the communities, including Muslims and non-Muslims, even across the line of control. So, by the grace of God, he is in late 80s now. His movement is restricted due to his health, but still he is very much available to the visiting individuals and delegations and people and diplomats. So that was one of the major references which actually my friends they wanted to make. So most of you, my friends, who are present in this respectful gathering here, have been to Azad Kashmir on one or the other occasion. Therefore, we all are much familiar with one another. I may reiterate my gratitude to all those who made liberal contribution towards the welfare of the people of Azad Jammu and Kashmir in hours of distress caused by earthquake of 2005. Again, it was the courtesy of Muslim Hands and their associates. Like the institution building process, the process of welfare is also a continuous process. It passes from stage to stage, and with the grace of God, the people of Azad Kashmir did take a better turn from ravages of the 2005 quake. Gentlemen, if one looks back, one finds the people of Jammu and Kashmir in prolonged distress. Their hardships started from the day the UN mandate in Kashmir failed to deliver them from uncertainty. Even today, there goes on unendingly the massive abuses of human rights violations in Srinagar, Rajouri, Jammu, and across that region. There is no lessening of atrocities, arbitrary arrests, child imprisonment, and abductions as mode of state terror. We have been inviting the attention of the world bodies, including that of United Nations, whose ultimate liability is the unsolved Kashmir dispute. We are thankful that the UN Human Rights representative Ms. Sekogia twice visited the valley, held discussions with the affected families. Amnesty International continues to press cessation of human rights abuses taking place at the hands of Indian occupation forces. It is a fact that unsettled Kashmir is grave threat to peace immediately to the South Asian region and connectedly to the entire world. South Asia is a nuclearized region. In such a scenario, when a flashpoint dispute like Kashmir exists, the international community, the international welfare organizations, NGOs, and conflict resolution forums would have to travel extra miles towards securing a solution. One thing needs to be noted, that Kashmiris are not intransigent. They want progression of talks between Pakistan and India. And they want inclusion of Kashmiris in the process of Pakistan-India negotiations at the appropriate phase. The key to peace in Kashmir. This key is held by the whole world via UNO. Therefore, the whole world is a party to this dispute. Kashmiris in both parts of the state openly welcome the resumption of peace talks between Islamabad and New Delhi. Pakistan has been very liberal in their Kashmir policy. They openly favor participation of Kashmiris with the talks process. The process of peaceful negotiation over Kashmir is the viable way to seek out an honorable solution. The UN resolutions on Kashmir are a good, helpful roadmap. On this occasion, I may remind the Indian Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh that on September 26, 2009, he had promised to the world during the course of his speech to UN General Assembly in New York that India would settle all outstanding issues, including that of Jammu and Kashmir with Pakistan, through talks. That pledge remains unmet on the part of Indian leadership. President Barack Obama, during his visit to India in November 2010, had urged India in a public forum in New Delhi to settle Kashmir with Pakistan. Similarly, the Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao, during his December 2010 visit to India, emphasized upon India to settle Kashmir via talks with Pakistan. I would also appeal to the voluntary working social organizations that they should also press their moral force for a friction-free South Asia. Humanity is one living organism. Moral force is a restorative pull. Your frequent visit to Azad Kashmir and Indian held Kashmir should also take place. That is also a way to heal wounds. I would not, as I said earlier, that I would not be taking much of your time, and I would try to leave as much time as possible for your question and answer session. So maybe friends have some queries and questions with them. And with that, I once again thank you very much. God bless us all. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.